Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another live stream. Hope you guys are ready to rock and roll and get this show on the road and talking about Merida, Yucatan, because it seems like a lot of you guys want to know more information on the city and what is actually going on here. What are the future projections? Whether or not to come move out here, live out here, invest out here, visit out here, so on and so forth. And, I've been living out here for over 6 years, 6.5 years actually. And I do have a few opinions of a little bit of knowledge on the situation. So, well, that's what we're going to get into today. All right. Got a few maps, got some information, we got a little setup, all right, going here and, ready to rock and roll. But anyways, with all that being said, welcome guys. Hope you guys are, having a good old week, getting ready for Thanksgiving next week. And you already know how we do out here. The first couple minutes, we're just gonna kind of just chat with you guys in the chat while we wait for everybody to show up, since everybody has to get their notifications and figure out that I am live, even though I'm live every single Thursday at the same exact time, unless otherwise noted. But anywho's, for those of you that don't know and always wait for me to go live, because, well, like today, I had a little bit of an unexpected situation where I had to, unfortunately come a little late. Sometimes I'm on time, sometimes I'm a little late because life happens. Again, this is live, right? That's what makes it fun. But yeah, Gizmo, unfortunately, he's having a little bit of a little health issue. Not feeling so good, not feeling so bueno. Not quite sure what's wrong with him. So, kind of dealing with all that. You know how it is. Sometimes you don't care about your own health, but then when, the horse gets sick, the dog gets sick, anyone else that you love gets sick, then all of a sudden it's an issue. And so just dealing with the poor guy. He seems okay, but I know he's not okay. I definitely know something's up. He's not even eating his treats, and you already know that's no bueno. But anywho's, but he's okay. He's fine. It's just worrisome because I want to make sure he is, like, I would rather have him barking and be full of energy and all that stuff at the moment, instead of being all sad and glum and not feeling well. I'm guessing he probably just ate something he shouldn't have eaten. You know how they are. Anywho, so yeah, speak for yourself. You do it all the time. All right, guy. All right, we don't need your opinions this early, Lambo. But anyways, thanks for sharing, Lambo. Much appreciated. So today we're gonna go really, really in depth. Okay, we're not gonna just talk about the city. We're gonna talk about the area. Just again, there's a lot out here. I know I always joke around and I always say that, basically Merida is out here in the middle of nowhere. It's a big major city. It's a major population of around 1 million people here. But when you kind of see what else is around here, there's not much. In fact, the population of the Yucatan, the state of the Yucatan, all right, there you go. Hold on. Boom. Anyways, the population of the whole state is a little over 2 million. So 2 million and something. So again, if 1 million live in Merida, that means that the other million live throughout the rest of the state. So that means it's pretty empty. And if you know anything about this region, we're in the jungle. We got the beach, we got the jungle. It's basically paradise. And that's why so many people are coming out here, moving out here. And this is one of those destinations that everyone is looking into these days. And so, well, this is why, I'm covering issues or topics like this, because, well, there's a lot of, people that are interested in this region. And so the more information they know, well, the more they can be well informed to figure out, again, what is the right decision for them. Whether or not Merida and the Yucatan is right for them or not. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. But anyway, shout out to Kathleen Rodriguez, David Lucas. Is that you, the comedian, or is that somebody else? David Lucas Machado. And we got Mr. Lodak. Shout out to Lodak, OG. That's why he has that little wrench, because he's, been around for a very long time. But anyways, shout out to him. And welcome to everyone out there. And a little programming note. I'm not going to be around next week because next week is Thanksgiving, and well, I'm going to be busy, doing all the Thanksgiving stuff. All right, so just FYI, I'm not going to be around here. I'm not going to be around on Unleashed as well. I'm going to be on Unleashed today. We're going to be talking about drugs. Say no to drugs. So, anyways, go check that out if you're interested in that. But anyways, long story short. I'm not going to be around next Thursday, okay? But I will be back after that, all right? So just taking, Thanksgiving week day off or whatever. So, but still expect videos every Sunday, all right? So we got a video on Sunday and the Sunday after that, and every single Sunday we got videos on the channel, and so on and so forth. In fact, we just came back from another adventure yesterday, and hopefully, that'll be up real soon. In fact, this week, this Sunday, the video I'm going to be publishing is about real estate. Again, this is why we're talking about this. Okay, this is why we are now talking about the whole, whatchamacallit, the expansion, the growth of Merida, the future, what's it going to look like here, and so on and so forth. Because, well, like I said, look, the reality is that this is not going to stop. The growth is not stopping anytime soon. It's only going to get more. All right, so that's what we're going to be talking about today, because a lot of people, I understand, some people might not be happy with the growth, and some people are very happy with the growth. It just all depends on who you ask. But anyways, shout out to Trent. Oh, hello, Trent Boyle. Welcome aboard. First time live stream welcomer in there. Thank you, Greg. Shout out to Greg. Greg has asked, am I cooking you a turkey? I don't know. Do I know you, Greg? Are you the Greg that I know? Anyways, if you are, and you hit me up, okay? You know where to get me, okay? All right, Greg. All right. If you want some turkey, hit me up, and we'll coordinate. Chef Boy, shout out to Chef Boy, shout out to Alpha, and shout out to everyone else out there in the chat. Alpha Male asked me, what is my favorite city in Mexico? Well, my favorite city in Mexico at the moment is Merida, because, well, that's where I live. But honestly, all the cities I've been to, I love. I've been to various cities. I've been to Mexico City, Oaxaca, Guadalajara, Tijuana, and a bunch of others. But long story short, they all got their, positives and negatives. But that's not what we're talking about here today. We're going to be talking about Merida. All right, only Merida, Yucatan in today's video. All right. Okay, so all right, Greg, if it's you, hit me up. All right, send me a message. All right, and then yeah, don't worry about it. We will coordinate. So shout out to you. Shout out to Greg out there, big supporter of the show. All right, so let's get into it. Okay, I feel like enough time has passed. I feel like everybody is out there, doing their Thanksgiving shopping as well. This is so random. Some of these live streams, I get a lot of views. Some of them not so much, but it's all good, as long as, I get to help you guys. Maximo says, what do you think about Monterrey? I've never been there, but I've heard great things. It'd be nice if I went to Monterrey. Yeah, it'd be really nice. I would love to go, but, I'm not made out of money. So maybe one day we'll make it out there. And obviously we'll bring the camera and we'll bring all that good stuff so you guys can see it as well. And, and I get to show you, I get to tell you my opinions on, Monterrey, like I did with Guadalajara, and I've done with Oaxaca and other places, and so on and so forth. But yeah, I would love to go. And Jose's asking me, Jose Aguilar says, what do you recommend for people who have nothing due to hamster wheel life in the USA? You know what? Watch my channel, okay? Watch my channel and get to work. And it's not going to be easy, okay? I came out here over 6.5 years ago with only $1,500 left to my name, and I documented, the majority of my adventure and my life out here, and it's not easy. It's still not easy. So this is why I documented, to let you guys know, because some people have, these ideas of coming out to Mexico or moving abroad, and they don't even know how to support themselves. All right, they don't even know how to be an adult, and they come out and they fail miserably. But like I say it all the time, for those of you guys out there that, know how to survive and know how to take on an adventure and have been through some things and yada, 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 then yeah, you should look into it. But it's not going to be easy, and there's a lot of hurdles. But yeah, just check out my channel. And you know, they should give you enough information. All right, and keep checking out my channel because I'm always making content, you know, about all that stuff. Okay. Okay, so let's just get into it. Otherwise, I'm going to be hanging out with the chat the whole thing. I've never been to Victoria City. Okay, so as you guys can see on the map, here, let's go to this map. As you guys can see on the map, by the way, please let me know if the music is too loud or distracting. I kind of have it in the background, but I can't really hear it. But if it's a little too distracting or loud, let me know. All right, so this is basically Merida. You've always hear, you know, about, you know, the zones, you know, the north, you know, the north, and then the south. You know, you don't hear too much about the east or the west. I try to talk to you guys about the east and the west, you know, because, well, as you guys can see there, you can get some real good deals there, but also the south. Now, the north is great. I know plenty of people. In fact, the majority of the people I know, you know, out there, you know, that end up, not that I know personally, but just, you know, that I know that come out here and live out here, they end up in the north. All right. So a lot of people end up in the north. Again, east and west is amazing. You know, I love east and west. All right. That's, you know, again, I got friends that live. I don't want to tell you exactly where I live, but like I said, you know, it's in the east and the west south. Okay. This region. Okay. All right. And like I said, you know, plenty of people I know live in the east. Plenty of people I know that live in the west. Plenty of people I know that live in the south. All right. And in the center of the city. Now, the center is not necessarily my cup of tea, not my recommendation, you know, for you to live in, unless, you know, you are looking for a certain lifestyle. And then if you are looking for a certain lifestyle, then yes, for sure, El Centro is wonderful. The reality is that if you're coming out here to live, you're, you know, whether you're retiring, digital nomad, whatever, young like me, you know, older on a pension with retirement, it doesn't matter. You're probably going to be living in one of these other 4 regions, okay, outside of El Centro. Now, there are other regions, as you guys can see, you know, on this map, and you're going to see another map in a second, but you see Cauquel all the way out here to the left, you know, to the left. Again, here on the map, you know, you got all the way up here, all these developments now. You see Cholul, Concal, you see Las Americas, Ditzia, Temozon Norte, and then down south as well. You know what I mean? You got Canacin, okay? And, you know, this area, when I first moved here, it was like, oh, all right, it's crazy dangerous, but now it's very nice. And there's nothing really dangerous in Merida. Merida is a very safe city. In fact, the safest city in Mexico, but, you know, just super safe all around. But long story short, yeah, you know what I mean? Canacin is also, you know, growth and its own entity. In fact, this right here where it says the Teya out here, you know, this region, that's where the Mayan train station is out here. Now, another region, you know, popular region that's growing. Again, we just made a video going out to Uman, and not just Uman, but then, you know, these regions out here, okay, and so on and so forth. But again, now when you're talking about this region in particular, the South, you know, this is the South, you know, what you've always heard as being, you know, the poorest of the, you know, part of the city. Now, again, depending on what part of the city and what part of the region in the South you're going to, you're going to see some really nice areas. All right, and then you're going to see some rundown areas. Again, I did a video not too long ago in an area super south of the city, but within the, I don't know where it was, but somewhere down here, okay, in this area down here, and we helped out like a bunch of people. We did one of those charity videos where we were helping out the people, and I was down there, okay? So, just FYI, all right? And then that's the airport there, and so on and so forth. So we're going to go through all of that, all right, in a second. Oh, thank you, Greg. Oh, thank you, Greg. Oh, buy yourself a turkey. Oh, thank you very much, Greg. Much appreciated. Shout out to you with a $20 super chat. All right. Greg, the hero. Hold on a second. Where did I put the... Sorry. We're a little all over the place today because of poor Gizmo out there. You know, you're trying to make him feel better. Okay. Where was it? Okay. Shout out to Greg. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated. Mucho love. Thank you very much. Okay. Joe Peach. Okay. Shout out to you. Shout out to everyone. Meat Gravy says gonna need more than $20. Yeah, that's right. That's part of the turkey. That's part of the turkey, right? So I can get some turkey cold cuts. No, but shout out to Greg, man. Shout out to everyone out there. Mark Mitchell says, I stay in El Centro every time I go. Just left last week from being there 2 weeks. Yeah, so if you're coming out here to visit, if you're coming out here, to vacation, to travel, if you're coming out here on a scouting trip, to check out the city, yeah, El Centro, 100%. That's where you want to be. That's just, not just here, most cities, all right? 100%. But when you're living here, living here is another thing. That's another completely different thing. So let me see. But anyway, shout out to everyone out there. Yeah, I'm gonna go get my turkey. Yeah, I gotta wait to get my turkey. Literally, a day or two before. I go to the butcher and I let them know, hey, I want a turkey, and then, they get me a real fresh turkey. Okay, like it was just gobbling right before Thanksgiving night type of thing. All right, the real deal, Holyfield. All right, so shout out to everyone out there. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone, all right? But this is not Thanksgiving episode. This is a video talking about, the zones out here. Okay, so the reality is that, look, this graphic I'm showing you here on screen is a little old, okay? Maybe about a year old, okay? So, the prices, still are the same. Maybe, a difference in between, 500 to 1,000 pesos, all around, okay? So just maybe, add, 500 to 1,000 pesos for the most part, maybe change in rent. Now, some places more, obviously, especially in the north, I know homes that are renting, for 40, 45, 60, 65. And so again, 20,000 pesos is $1,000. Okay? So, when people say, oh, Jose, how do you get your rent so low? How do you get rent? Right now, my rent, because of the exchange rate, is now down to $300. So how do I get my rent at $300? Well, I live in one of these regions down here. As you guys can see here, hopefully you guys can understand a little Spanish, but departamentos, those are apartments, okay? But that's not what most of you guys are looking for. You guys are looking for homes, all right? And then these are the prices, on the homes, on the rentals, all right? So again, you can rent a home anywhere from 3,500, okay, to 15,000, okay? So that means, anywhere 3,500, 4,000, that would be 200. Okay, so you can rent a house anywhere from 200 to 750 bucks. So 750 bucks to 200 bucks, okay? Over here, about the same. Actually, less, okay? You can rent a home for even less, okay? So again, anywhere from around 200 bucks to around 400 bucks, okay? And again, these prices aren't 100% accurate because this is an older graphic, okay? So I'm just trying to, okay? And then all the way down in the south, you can get a house anywhere from, 2,000, okay? Which is 100, okay? All the way from, 150, 200 bucks, okay? So let's just say really more like, 200 bucks, okay? You can probably rent the house down here. Now, again, guys, don't think that it's the same house all over, just a different price. No, okay? If you're renting a house for 200 bucks, it's almost a shack type of thing, okay? Not a shack, but it's not a home that a lot of people might want to live in, okay? Again, my home is $300, okay? I know a lot of you guys out there in the audience, okay? Some of you guys, a minority, will come into my house, live in my, check out my house, and they'll be like, man, this house is awesome. This is great. Definitely needs maybe a little work, an extra coat of paint, whatever. Nothing crazy. And we got a house. But a lot of people, they'll come into my house and be like, man, you live in squalor. Now, I don't think I live in squalor. I think I live pretty great, for the price, all things considered, yada, yada, yada. Of course, I would love to live, in a nice, fancy home. But again, I live within my means because there are other things that are more important to me in my life, okay? So that's the thing. And so everybody has to make that sacrifice. What is important to you? Living in a fancy home, having all the bells and whistles, or, not having to worry about rent. Because no matter how bad it gets for me, I can always come up, with 300 bucks, you don't have to pay rent. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, as opposed to, being in the north and paying for a home, $1,000, and sure, I might be able to afford it on a regular basis, but what if I have a bad month? What if I have, an emergency? Then all of a sudden that $1,000 or more, for the house, for the fancy house, is like, now all of a sudden it's like, now we got a problem. As opposed to, $300 in rent, now all of a sudden I don't have to worry about, I don't have the AC on right now because, by the way, we're getting a little cold fronts cooling down. Amen. Finally. But anywho's, what I was saying is that, I can run the AC whenever I want. I can go to the store and buy whatever I want food-wise, I can, live the life that I want to live. Obviously, I can't afford everything. I got a really limited budget here. But right now, Gizmo is sick. I'm not worried about the expense, that Gizmo I'm gonna incur with him at the moment. No, I'm worried about he's just sick. I want to get him better and make him feel better, and that's it. And so that's a good place to be. I don't got to worry about my bills. So that's why I choose to live in these regions. Now, I don't live in the South. Nothing wrong with the South. Christian's grandma lives in the South. We know people that live in the South. Nothing wrong with the South, okay? But like I said, most likely, if you're getting a house, with a very, very cheap rent, then most likely, and especially, again, in a certain region, then most likely it's not going to be the greatest of homes. Now, again, it varies, It's all over. Remember, you've seen my videos multiple times, and you see as I drive around, I show you around the city, that you'll see, one beautiful, amazing home, like a two-story monstrosity, 4 or 5 bedrooms, amazing home, and then right next to it, it's like a guy that's basically living in a shack, and then right next to it is like another modest, middle-class home, like the one I have, and then like that, and it's just random. And so that's the thing. So even in the South, you might be finding homes that are very expensive. It could be, the $400, $500, $600 range. Okay. Now, less likely. Okay. But they're down there. They exist. Okay. Again, most likely, most people are going to find cheaper rents in the South. Cheaper rents in Canacín. Cheaper rents here. Let's go to the map here. They're going to find cheaper rents in Canacín. They're going to find cheaper rents in Caucao. Now, the reason that you are going to be paying more in rent than a Mexican, it's 90% of the time, it's not a gringo price. It's just that you want a fancier home. That's just the reality of it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't, a lot of people out there in the audience don't take these things into consideration. So, for example, when a Mexican, okay, that is being gentrified out, okay, of their city. For example, they might live in Mexico City, they might live in Guadalajara, Oaxaca, you name it, name whatever city, okay? Even Merida. These people that are getting gentrified out, okay, for whatever reason, okay, gentrification is not a bad thing all around, okay? I'm a pro gentrification kind of guy, but just speaking the realities of these situations, right? And so these people that are getting gentrified out now, all of a sudden, in the areas that they might want to live in or lived in before, now all of a sudden they're getting too expensive for the homes that they're renting. Again, it's a crappy home, and now the rent is 3 times the amount. So a typical Mexican's like, man, I'm not paying that. I'm barely want to pay, what I'm paying for this crappy home when I can literally get that same amount of money or pay the triple amount of money and really get a nice home in the north, in Cauquel, in Concal, in Cholul, and whatever. So that's one thing. Another thing, again, in Mexican in another city in Mexico, again, they're paying astronomical amounts of rent for a crappy apartment or living with roommates in a place like Mexico City, for example. And then all of a sudden, again, it's a young Mexican that can work online or can do some sort of, online job, working for a Mexican company. And then they say, you know what, I'll move to, out to Merida. And there's many people that are moving out to Merida from Mexico. Mexicans moving out to Merida for many reasons. And so a lot of these people, for example, very, very, very poor people from other parts of Mexico are moving to Merida because there's job opportunities. A lot of, not wealthy Mexicans, but middle-class Mexicans, that are getting gentrified out, and now, they went from middle class to high middle class, and now they're like low middle class. Like, wait a minute. So they're looking for better opportunities, like a lot of you guys are. So then, boof, they land in Merida. Why? Because now all of a sudden they can move to Cauquel, they can move to the south. Again, if you're really poor, you move to the south. If you are, a modest Mexican family, normal, you can move to Cauquel, Canacín, Cholul, Las Americas, some of these areas, right? And then you come out here, and now all of a sudden, instead of living in a really, really, really crappy small home in a very dangerous area in Mexico City or wherever you're at, now you can come to Mérida, right, and get a bigger home, still small, tiny, compared to what you might be used to, but a bigger home, and in a safe city, very safe city with job opportunities and so many other things. And so, well, now all of a sudden you're seeing this boom of all these people moving out here because of that. And they're even good. And now with the new president, this is with the new president had a decree that she's building affordable housing all over Mexico, and Mérida is one of those cities. So long story short, just when it comes to the population boom, they're expecting an even bigger boom. They're expecting bigger growth, more people, more everything. Again, they're building affordable housing in Mérida. They're building up in the north. You've seen it in the videos that I've done with real estate. They got, high-end luxury homes up there, okay? And millionaires are moving up there, Mexican millionaires. Again, 1 million pesos is $50,000, okay? So a lot of people are moving to these northern areas, okay? You guys are moving there because you want a nice fancy home, you can afford it. Mexicans are moving up here to these areas, and these areas are, again, highly coveted. Again, not just these areas, up here in the north of Mérida, this is where you're going to find a lot more of the homes that are, whatchamacallit, you're going to find a lot more of the, the private HOA type homes, the privadas, the people living in the gated communities and stuff like that. And then here in the north part of the city, you're going to just find, the nice homes with the nice things. Again, here's where you have all the high-end malls. You got the high-end stores, you got the Costco's, you got the Walmarts, the Home Depots, you got all that stuff in mass quantities, okay? And here you're gonna find, again, nicer, fancier, newer construction, better homes. Again, here, let's go here. Newer construction, better homes, all this stuff. Again, you came out here to Mérida like 30 years ago, 20 years ago, but 30 years ago, whatever, there was nothing up here. Nothing in the red zone. And now, again, it was all built up. But then you come to like, the purple zone, the yellow zone, okay? In the center zone, some of these homes, were built 100 years ago. That kind of stuff, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 70 years ago. So, and all that stuff. So let me see. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, it all depends. It's like Alpha says, why do you say most people wouldn't like your house? Well, because I've already met most people that move out here. And the reality is that, my house is not a traditional home with all the bells and whistles. You know what I mean? Again, maybe I should just show you. I mean, you guys already seen my real estate videos, right? Yes. So in the real estate videos, you see a lot of the homes that I show. And, in the last, here, I guess I'll show you real quick, just so you can get a little context. Just uno segundo. Por favors. Okay? But you see, in this video, see, this house is in the north, okay? You guys saw that video already. And that's like a lot of people, when they move out here, they want to move into this home. Now, they might not be able to afford to buy it, but they can rent a home like this. And renting a home like this is somewhere in like the 40,000, 60,000 peso range, all right? Or 20-something thousand peso range. So this is, this home to rent, again, it's 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000. I don't know the price, but it's in that range. Again, I pay 300. Okay, and what is a $300 home to rent? Hold on. This is a $300 home to rent, okay? Again, you see, this is in the region this is in the orange region, okay? So you're going to see here, and you're going to see what the home looks like. So this is what kind of like what my home looks like, all right? Just obviously different, just saying the style, all right? And so this is what my home looks like. So if you are coming out here and you're looking to rent something that is $300, $400, $500, not $400, okay? I wouldn't pay more than $400 for this, all right? Maybe $5 tops. That's already pushing it, really, maybe furnished at $5, But that's already super pushing. This home really, 400 tops. Okay, 450 tops. 400, 450. All right. Hold on. But you can buy that home for $50,000. Okay, you can buy this home. You can buy this home for $50,000. All right. One second, sorry. All right. So, but anyway, so this is a home that you're going to rent. So again, for some people, they don't want to live in a home like this. This is too old, too, yeah, I don't know. I mean, just not the style that they're looking for, And so that's the thing. And so a lot of people, they come out here and, they want to rent a home like this for $50, and then, they'll go to a home, fancy home like this one, and they want, and they want to, and then they get the expectations. This is why I'm showing you guys. So a lot of people, they'll come out here and then they'll want a home like this, and then that's what they think or are expecting for $300, $400, $500. And like, no. This is gonna cost you $1,000, not even, maybe years ago $1,000, But now today, this is $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to rent a month. All right. And so a lot of people are like, oh, well, why am I coming to Mexico? I can just stay. Well, again, that's a home like this is not going to cost you $3,000, $4,000, all right? Like the way it's looking like that. It's going to cost you more than that a month. That's number one. Number two, it's not about the money per se anymore, right? You're coming out here for a quality of life. Again, you can still save money and you can still find good housing. But it's up to the individual out there and their expectations, okay? And this channel is Reality Check channel. Again, maybe that's why I don't grow as fast as other channels, because I'm not selling anything to anyone. I'm not trying to, sell an idea, to people just to come out here to make money and, take advantage of that. No, I'm giving people a reality check, all right? That's it. That's all it is, like it or not. And so, for a lot of people, again, I make these videos and a lot of people complain about the expensive homes. And I'm like, bro, I'm offering you guys, another option at the end. But that's the problem. And so I'm like, I can't control that. I can't control that. The majority of people don't want to live in a place like this. Now, for me, are you kidding me? This home right here that you're looking at is nicer than the home I'm at right now. Now, I prefer mine because it's a little bigger. All right. And my house, again, it's a working home. Me and Christian work out of the home. This is our, my studio here. She has her studio there. And, it's different. We're in a different vibe and doing different things. And that's not for most people. But long story short, I would love to live in this home, in that sense. If I was just like a normal home type of thing, because it's very nice. But anyways, like I said, a lot of people just don't want, that. So, A Tress, right? A Tress is asking, how much do I need to put down for a home? It depends. It all depends on the home. Some homes, you need 25% down. Some home, 10% down. It just depends. But think about it. The home you're looking at right there, okay? It's $50,000. Okay, maybe let's just say $55,000, $60,000. With all the fees and this and that. You know how those things are. But whatever, 55. Let's just, even it out for $55,000, $60,000, right? And they ask, let's say 25% down. What is 25% of that? So think about it. So, but the thing is, it's like, it's not just down. They don't have mortgages. This is what I'm trying to, also tell you guys. If you need a mortgage, if you need a loan to purchase a home in Mexico, you're not going to walk into a Mexican bank and ask for a loan and they're going to give you a loan. The people selling you the home cannot give mortgages to foreigners, okay? So you need to know these things, right? So in order for you, let's say you want to buy this home on a mortgage, then you need to secure the loan with somebody else, aka an American company, aka a private loan, aka you figure it out. There are many loan helpers out there. Jose Novello, who you're seeing on screen right there, might be able to help you out. I don't know All right. Hopefully he doesn't get mad at me. You know, I start sending people over there, you know, asking for mortgages and he can't help. But, you know, all I'm saying is that's something that you got to kind of have to secure on your own. In fact, that would be great if I could find somebody or a company out there that does that. And I would love to put them in contact with you. All right. But long story short, that's something that people need to also take into account, because a lot of people is like, oh, Jose, do you have a home? I'm like, no, I can't afford a home. I don't have a home. I make around $1,500 a month, you know, if I'm lucky. So if that's what I make, and I'm talking about everything, you know, between YouTube and the consultations, everything. So if that's what I'm making and I don't have much in savings, you know, for a Mexican, I'm doing pretty okay. But, you know, not for, you know, other people out there. Long story short, I don't have enough, you know, to buy a home, put down for a home, nothing like that. Now, me, I've been here long enough. I speak Spanish. I know how the whole kind of thing works. And so because of that, you know, I've been, even though I should have, you know, done this sooner, but long story short, in the years that I've been here, I've been able to not only go to the bank and get an account, but I've been able to start building and securing credit, because there is Mexican credit, just like you have credit in the USA. Now, my credit in the USA, it might be like 300, 250. I don't know. What's the lowest score you can get? But out here, I got outstanding, amazing, beyond bombastic credit, all right? And I've been able to build credit here. And not only that, but now I've been able to build so much credit where now the bank is constantly harassing me to give me a loan, to give me money. So in a sense, I could get out a loan and I could purchase a home if I wanted to, but the problem is that the interest rates here are extremely high. Again, it's a different system. We're not talking about loans or money or anything like that here, but that's the thing. You know, there's a reason why, you know, Mexico has so little debt. You know, most Mexicans don't have as much debt or very little debt or no debt compared to the typical American. You know, it's like 20% of the Mexican population that's in debt, and in the USA it's like 80% of the population that's in debt. And I'm talking about all debt, you know, including home debt. So in Mexico, I've talked about this before, most Mexicans have the option where they can, you know, when they're working at their regular job, you know, they, you know, just like in the US, you get FICO taken out and Medicare, Medicaid, all that crap taken out. Well, here they have Infonavit. And so Infonavit is something that gets taken out of their paycheck, every paycheck, and then that builds into a pool, into a credit, into a points, and then eventually the government, you know, kind of gives you a certain value for those points. And long story short, you know, a lot of people, that's how they get their home. You know, they just work. You know, by the time they're my age, they already, you know, probably already bought a home or two, you know, or paid it off. All right. So, and paid it off. And it's because of the work credit. Okay. And then maybe they just have to get like a little loan to maybe pay this and that, and then whatever. And then the thing is, it's like, you know, it's not like in the USA where you get a mortgage and then, you know, it's like a little bit of interest, but it just tacks on over 100 years. Here, it's not like that at all. You get a loan and it's like, yeah, I got to pay that loan back in a few years, like less than 5 years, you know? So, you know, it's just things, there's many things like that. So, it's a different system out here. But again, the reason I show these homes is because right now in the USA, you know, you might own a home or you might, you know, have a mortgage on your home, and you can literally, you know, sell your home and either get some equity back, get some money back, you know, profits a lot, you know, depending on what the home is, whether you own it outright or how much you owe. Long story short, you most likely will be able to get some money back. And a lot of you guys are looking into getting out of Dodge. So for example, you know, you go on ahead and sell your home and you made like, you know, $200,000 in profit. Well, you can come out here and buy a home. You know, again, the home that you're looking at right now is like $60,000. So, you know, there's a lot of people out there. So, you know, if you're in that, you know, typical American, like I am, you know, where I can't afford, you know, a home outright, you know, for many reasons, then, you know, we're still out of luck, but there's more chance to still afford a home out here, as opposed to in the USA. But in the USA, if you've been able to at least, you know, get a home, get a this or that, you know, like what I was just explaining, you know, you got options. And especially if you're retired and you have a home, you know, are you kidding me? That's where I show, you know, the other homes, you know, the super fancy homes. And wait, and this Sunday, I'm leaving it a surprise, but I got some really nice, super nice properties coming up this Sunday. And we're going to be doing more homes like this the home that you're looking at now that's in the $50,000 range, $60,000 range, under $100,000, we're gonna be doing more of those homes coming up. Okay, so please stay tuned. But the thing is, it's like I can't, I can't just focus on one group. There's a bunch of you guys out there with a bunch of different situations and budgets and everything. And some of you guys, you can afford, to pony down a large chunk of change, like $500,000, to live in a very safe and wonderful, amazing culture, and live in an amazing house. Where in the USA, $500,000, aka $500,000, is the home that you're looking at right now. I mean, this is the reality of it. You know what I mean? Especially like in, let's say Miami, where I live. Where I'm from. Come on. You know what I mean? That's the home you're looking at there. You know what I mean? Like that's $500,000. You kidding me? On the low end. So, just FYI. So. So yeah, it's funny. People in the audience are like, "Oh, that's crazy that Mexicans. That's how they buy homes. They just work and save up." Yeah, you can still do that here. Again, look, Mexico is having some of the issues as in the USA, where some of the younger folk, they are having trouble, okay? But look, I'm gonna tell you right now, straight up, I've been here long enough, all right? And I'm from the hard-working kind of background mentality. And listen, okay? The running joke out here is that the person that goes out and gets their degrees in, a degree in humanities or in, or interior design or whatever it is, they are the ones that, end up living like me, and then the ones that, all of a sudden they open up a taco stand, all right, or they open up a sandwich stand or whatever it is, they're the ones that are driving around their Lamborghini, the Ferrari, and buying the, the 10 million peso home, okay? So, and this is the reality of it, okay? So, 2 million pesos is 100K. Okay, my bad, David Rogers. Thank you. By the way, shout out to David. My math is no good. Okay, so this home you're looking at is $100,000. And by the way, I wrote it in the thing. So when I gave the price, it's in there. So, again, that's why I don't come for me for math, okay? Because my math is no good. Yeah, there you go. See, look, it is. See, I see. Okay, see, 100,000. It says it right there. Okay, you're right. Thank you, David. I'm sorry, I'm semi-Italian. So thank you very much.
Bruh.
I appreciate it. So Joe Peach wants to know what part of Merida I'm in. I am in this region. I'm in the I'm in between, the orange, the purple, and the centro, and the south, somewhere here. Yeah. So, I know a lot of people want to know exactly where I live, but I can't, dox myself. I've already done it plenty of times in the past, and it doesn't. Every time I've doxed myself like a dumbass, I got people showing up to my door, and I'm thinking it's a delivery, and it's one of you guys. Parachuting in from the roof, all right? So I love you, Joe Peach. I love all of you guys out there, but I live in this part of Mexico. If I get to know you personally, obviously, you come out here, we're gonna meet you, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, you'll know where I live. Don't worry about it. I'm not, but I'm just trying to, there are people watching now live and people watching in the future, all right? So it's not about you, Joe Peach, okay? It's about other individuals out there. Anyways, Kathleen says, everything I've watched and heard about buying homes or condos in Mexico says you pay cash. Well, I mean, yeah, you know what I mean? That's one of the ways. That's how most people do. By the way, when they say pay cash, you know what I mean? The reality is that, it's not cash. You know what I mean? It's not like, you're showing up with suitcases of cash, It goes through the banks and it goes through the proper, again, that's what you got to get with the proper people. All right, because otherwise you can get robbed. You know what I mean? If you don't know what you're doing and you show up with a couple briefcases full of cash, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna end well. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna be, anyways.
Bruh.
So look, yeah. Long story short, you know what I mean? You get like, again, someone like Jose Novello. Someone that knows what they're doing. Someone that can help guide you and help knows the process in and out and has a long track record, of doing this. Again, he is a certified real estate agent, which, again, you've heard me in years past say that, anyone can sell real estate out here. In fact, I'm a boomer, okay? Christian calls me a boomer. I mean, gringos, foreigners come out here all the time. They're on a freaking tourist visa and they're selling homes. Well, those days are over, okay? Now you do have to have a real estate license. You do need to be certified and yada, yada, yada. And well, Jose is. So we got to be careful out there, because there's all kinds of people trying to sell you homes and trying to do deals and trying to do everything. So it is like the wild, wild west out here. If you don't know what you're doing, and you're going to be sorry really quick, because, you can't just go and tell the police or tell anybody that, like, hey, they stole my money, or hey, this deal went wrong. The reality is that, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, out here, everything can be done, but it has to be done, properly. So long story short, when they mean cash, is that, yeah, you got to pay the house out. You know what I mean? Like, there's no loan structure thing available. Now, you can bring a loan structure. Again, you secure a loan. Let me push play on this. Anyways, you secure a loan in the USA. So you'll get all that money. Okay, that money pays the house, cash, and then you're paying off that loan. Now, again, that loan is not paid off. Now, that's your problem with, the lender. But that's yeah. So no, they're not going to get any. You're not going to get any loans offered by anyone out here. Like I said, if Jose, for example, or somebody out there in the audience, has a contact, for a loan officer, it's not a Mexican loan lender. You're not going to get no Mexican lender is going to lend you money. Okay, right off the bat. Look, I am not a citizen of Mexico. I am still on permanent residency. Okay, so I'm a permanent resident of Mexico. But the reason that I can secure a loan is because I've gone through the due diligence and the hard work of setting up, not just a bank account, but going through, again, setting up credit, getting credit cards and going through the whole shebang, to get credit to the point where the bank, okay, is coming up to me and be like, hey, and telling me, hey, you're such a good customer. Again, I am broke. I'm poor. You already know my monthly income is, all right? So if they offer it to me, then, well, imagine you out there that does the same thing as me, all right? The same banking procedures as me, but has more money coming in, how much more you can get. So long story short, you can come out here, okay, on a tourist visa, and then eventually get your residency. And you're living out here, and throughout the whole process, you're making money, right? Eventually, once you get residency, you can get a bank account. So you obviously, why do you get a bank account? So you can move money easier. So you'll move your money from your U.S. account to your Mexican account, like everybody does, okay? And then as it moves through your account, well, that's already telling the bank, hey, this guy has money coming in. You know what I mean? And so that gives them confidence to offer you a loan, because they know you can pay it off, because you don't owe them money. In fact, it's the opposite. Okay. So, it's things like that. So, Elizabeth Castro says Moxie is a lender that lends and does cross-border loans, but they have a minimum price for homes of about $350,000 US. Okay, cool. Thank you. In fact, let me write that down. I might look into them. Was it Moxie? Thank you, Elizabeth. Mucho gracias. Adrian says, here in this region, Los Altos de Jalisco, most people just don't sell their homes. There are very few homes for sale out here. Awesome. Meant, okay. I would never want to tell your... yeah, but okay, so Joe talking about the areas. Okay, so here, let me show you a quick map. So that's the thing. And so if I really tell you my area, you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. It's like, look, it's one of those little spots. It'll be easy to find. No, but yeah, long story short, you know what I mean? Look, straight up, okay? The real key here, okay, is this map. This is the key, okay? Because look, the purple and the orange, they look alike. So I'm basically live in the purple or the orange, right there. You got me, okay? One of those, okay? But like I said, I know plenty of people who live in the purple. Plenty of people who live in the orange, and it's basically they're the same. Middle class, okay? And high middle class, okay? So we live there. Centro. It's a crap show in Centro, okay? All right? And then you got the South, which not many people I know really live there, all right? They might live in the south of Central for the most part, but not really south. And then the north. The north is the one that's different from everybody else, okay? And so in the north, okay, that's where you're gonna get, again, all the nice homes, the fancy homes, yada yadas, okay? All the fancy schmancy stuff, the higher prices, the higher everything. Not just higher rents, higher everything. Again, the bananas cost more money in the north than they do in the south, okay? You go to the villages, you go to the pueblos, and it's even cheaper. Everything. The tacos, the panuchos, the bananas, the oranges, or whatever you're gonna get, for the most part. Just your daily basics, okay? So, but yeah, but the thing is, like, what I tell a lot of people is that, if you really, really, want to live, the life I live, living with the Mexicans and living like that, barrio life, living in the regular, typical kind of neighborhood, then yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I would stick to regions like the East or the West. When you're living in the North, now you're living with the rich Mexicans, or the Mexicans that want to be rich, or the Mexicans that, are in that kind of whatever. And so now you're separating yourselves from the rest of the other Mexicans that live a more humble lifestyle. You understand? So that's the thing. Each region offers different things. The people in the South, they're more community oriented. They're a little bit more loud in the streets, meaning, they'll be selling tacos and corn, right out of their house, right in front of the street. And then you'll see a little less of that, okay, in the East and the West, but you'll see it everywhere. You know what I mean? They still, again, like, I got tacos like a block from here, right next to the Oxxo, and the tamale guy, and this and that. And then when you go to the North, you really don't see it too much. But then same backwards, you know what I mean? Like, again, let's just go down here to the South. You're not going to see a Texas Roadhouse in the South, but you'll see a Texas Roadhouse in the North. You follow me? You might see a Walmart in the Centro. You might see a Walmart in the East, a Walmart in the West, a Walmart in the South. But in the North, they got like 3 Walmarts. I think. I don't know, at least 2. They got the Costco. They got all the fancy malls. Things like that. So that's what I'm trying to get at. So, each neighborhood offers different things. So again, if you want the high-end, high luxury living lifestyle, nothing wrong with that. If I can afford it, I probably live up there. This is the region, okay? But if you just want the lifestyle that I live, that a lot of people in the audience, that are my friends, that you've seen in other videos live, like, again, David, Greg, Tree, I could go on and on. A lot of these guys, that are my friends, we live out here, okay, in the East and the West. We don't live in El Centro. Nobody really lives in El Centro. Now, the people that live in El Centro, believe it or not, in my opinion, are, people that, kind of like that cramped lifestyle. Maybe they come from New York City and they like that crazy lifestyle. Okay, great. But that's the only, sorry, if you have a lower income, my income type of thing, then it's going to be a lot more uncomfortable to live in El Centro. But the reality is that, in my opinion, some of the highest net worth individuals out here in Mérida live in El Centro. They live in these ginormous palaces in El Centro. They own property in El Centro. And the Centro is all this region here, okay? But mostly the center. The closer to the center, the more concentrated these things are. But long story short, that's what I think that, like, a lot of the real money is. Okay? Now, there's a lot of real money up north, but it's a different vibe. Completely different vibe. Because, again, in the center, you're in downtown. Just downtown. So, think about it. You're a super high net worth individual, and you own a ginormous, mansion in El Centro, and you might even have an art gallery in El Centro. You're not going to the north. You might go to the north once or twice to go to Costco, whatever. That's it. You know what I mean? But your life is down there, and you're with the people, but not the poor people per se. Not the local people per se. No, with other high-end net worth individuals or other important people. Whether they're important in real life or in their heads, it doesn't matter. The point is that that's where all that goes down. So this is why I prefer to not live in El Centro because it's a different crowd. So meaning it's like the very, very, very poor or the very, very, very rich, and then everybody in the middle is just kind of congregating there because it's downtown. So all the buses congregate there, all the transportation, all the everything. So for example, in the north, you might have a cleaning lady. That cleaning lady either comes from the south or it comes from one of these villages out here in the middle of nowhere, all right? And so they have to take buses early in the morning, and all those buses congregate in El Centro. And then when they get to El Centro, they have to take another bus to the mansion or whatever, that they gotta, clean, and the kids they gotta take care of in the north. Again, I'm not talking about you guys per se. I'm talking about other wealthy Mexicans. There's a lot of wealthy Mexicans here. Again, the dream job is the one that, just comes from the village and they're in El Centro and then they just walk to the home and work there. But most of the time they gotta go up to another part of the city, mostly to the north, to work. And again, it's not just clean a home and take care of kids. No, they can be working at the mall, at the kiosk, selling, jujubes. I don't know, whatever. Was it Orange Julius or whatever they sell, at those things. But that's the thing. And so, and then, outside of the city, there's all kinds of, factories. Okay, whether it's meat producers or farms or Amazon distribution centers or whatever it is. All kinds of things. All right. I mean, I've seen all kinds of the Japanese companies, beer distributors or distilleries, everything, anything you can imagine. It's all out here. And so a lot of people, they, maybe those factories or those things are right by, right by the village. So a lot of people, they just, go on their bicycle, on their little motorcycle to the factory. You know what I mean? Or they'll go from other little villages to the factory to work, and then they go back to the village. But that's some jobs. Most jobs are in the big city, as you know. Same as back home and all that stuff. So that's the thing. And so you're going to be seeing, so you're going to see, so like I said, that's this disparity here, when it comes to the prices, you know what I mean? And so remember, there's all kinds of jobs out there, you know what I mean? So there's, a banker might live in the east or the west. Someone that's a mechanic, let's say he owns a mechanic shop. He lives in the east or the west. If he works, at the mechanic shop, he can live in the east, the west, or the south. Okay. And I could go on and on. And then the thing is that with homes, it's very different in Mexico than it is in the USA. Some people that are very poor, they own their home outright. Or some people that are low middle class or even middle class, they own the home outright. And it's not even because they paid it off, it's because they probably inherited it. So their parents, or their grandparents, might have owned the house, you know what I mean? And then they just pass it down generation to generation. That happens all over Mexico, and it happens here a lot too. So this is why even the gentrification thing is a different animal out here, because it doesn't really push out a lot of people out because most people own their homes. In fact, when a lot of people are pushed out, again, 10 years ago, that home that they're living in, be lucky if they can get $40,000 for it, all right? And now, there's people, offering them $400,000 to them, you know what I mean? And again, $400,000 is a lot of money, especially to a Mexican. So, I mean, just, keep all those things in mind, you know what I mean? And again, they own the house outright, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's pure profit, So there's just so many things, Nadid is asking, are they building a skyscraper in Merida? Yeah, okay, so all the skyscrapers and buildings and all that fancy stuff is all in the north. The center of the city is hundreds of years old, so it's that, it's hard to even build there. So, okay, let's say that you buy a home in El Centro. When you're going to remodel that home, you have to go through all these rules and regulations, and you have to meet a certain aesthetic, and you can only use a certain kind of paint, and you can only use a certain kind of this, and because again, it's a historic center that they're trying to revitalize, and they're trying to keep with a certain aesthetic, the old, colonial aesthetic. So, you'll see a lot of, rundown properties in El Centro and things like that. But the reality is that if you buy a home in El Centro, now you're going to be expected by the local government to make it look nice. And there's all these rules and regulations you got to follow. So, no, there's no skyscrapers there at all. You'll find a few little buildings, a few stories, 2, 3, 4 stories in El Centro, but that's about it. And those were built like God knows when. So. But David Rogers says Walmart in the north, Bodega Herrera in the south. That's right. Yeah. No, but Bodega Aurrera is great. You know, Bodega Aurrera is a grocery store, but they're owned by Walmart. There's a subsidiary of Walmart. So, but they're like the dollar store version. But listen, you know, anyone that knows, you go there to get the deals, and it's, you know, it's the same thing you're gonna pay double for in the north. All right, so it's all, you know, again. So, you know, the same thing as like Sam's Club, right? You know what I mean? Like, you know, they got certain things in Sam's Club, but it's, you know, it's the same Walmart company, right? So, but yeah, yes. That's a great way of putting it, Dave. Shout out to you. But anyways, let me see. Where am I at? Let me read you some comments here. Shout out to everyone out there. Okay. So, all right, let me go to the maps here. So again, these are all the little neighborhoods and enclaves, and as you guys can see, you know, there's like little neighborhoods that are almost, they kind of get lost within all that. But look at the centro. Look how big the centro is. Okay, and you can see like that's why when people say, "Oh, you know, I live in El Centro or move to El Centro," it's around there. Now again, you know, I live on the periphery of El Centro because I like to have access to El Centro. You know, I would rather have access to El Centro than to, I don't know, the Costco up north, for example. But everyone's different. Some people want to have more access to Costco. Anyways, long story short, I'd rather have more access to El Centro. My wife wants more access to El Centro, but we definitely don't want to live in El Centro. We want nothing to do with living or being around El Centro. But we want to be close enough. So where do I live? Where do we live? Where do a lot of you guys live or end up living? You live right outside of El Centro. You know, one of these neighborhoods on the periphery of El Centro. Okay? And those are the places to really go and really be. I mean, because it's perfect. You know what I mean? You're still centralized, okay, and central to most things in the city. And if you want to get to downtown and do the things downtown, this is great. This is perfect. But it's not for everybody. Again, different people want different lifestyles. Okay, so again, some people want, you know, this lifestyle. You know, the living out here in the private community next to the Costco in the big home and the big, you know, expensive everything. And some people don't want to live that. Some people want to live a different life. You know, some people want to live more like how I live. And so therefore you got to go and be in El Centro a lot. Okay? And you got to live more like this. Okay? And this is El Centro. And so again, if you're on a budget, then you want more access to El Centro. You want to be closer to El Centro. This is where you're going to get all those deals and so on and so forth. But if you're not on a budget, you know, you balling, you steer clear of El Centro. You know, why would you want to go to El Centro? You're not trying to save a few pesos or a few bucks on anything. Okay? You're more interested in just, you know, living your life and enjoying your life, and you'll be more than happy to pay a little bit more for the convenience and, you know, and your specialty items living in the north. You know, you're not going to find, you know, specialty olive oil or specialty items that come from blah, 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 you know, out here in El Centro. You know, you're going to find those up north, okay? Now, but where you're going to find, you know, the fruit, you know, right off the, you know, the tree, you know, where, you know, the people, again, all the people that have their farms and their, you know, their growth situations out there, you know, they all come to El Centro, and then from there it gets distributed out, you know, the food, not just the fruits and the vegetables, but the meat and all the things that come from around the state, they all congregate there. So, and so again, not like a lot of people just don't want to live this life. You know, a lot of people don't want to do these things, you know, right there. And for me, I do. I like to live this life. Some of you guys do. So look, for example, there's a lot of you guys out there that are very wealthy, and you'll buy one of those mega mansions, you know, right in the Centro, you know, right out, you know, a few blocks from there. And you know, go out of your mega mansion and you go out and you congregate with the people, and you go to El Centro and you buy your organic fruits and vegetables in the market, just like me and Christian, and so on and so forth. Okay. But some other wealthy individuals and some people that, you know, want that wealthy mentality. Again, you might come from the South. Okay. You might come from the South or, you know, the poor regions. But then you aspire to, and you want to live in the North for a better life, for a better whatever, because you're tired of having to live this life. And so you want better for you and your family, so then you move up to the north. And what is better for you and your family, according to you, the poor Mexican? Well, not having to walk down at Centro shopping for things the way we're shopping for things. Instead, be able to afford to go to a Walmart or a Costco or a big box store, a Chedraui or whatever, in a fancy neighborhood, in a fancy area, and be able to get whatever I want, right, all in one spot, at the mall, at the whatever. You follow me? So remember, there's all kinds of different individuals out there, all kinds of different lives, all kinds of different lifestyles, all kinds of different everything. You know what I mean? So this is why I provide everything, all these things for everyone. Because like I said, look, man, I'm from Florida, and I've seen all kinds of things in my life, in the sense of like how people want to live. I've known people that are, again, as a child and throughout my life, it's people that are multi-millionaires, and they live like a bum. They live like a bum, and it's not that they live like a bum. They're living their life. It's not about things. It's about life, and they just live their freaking life. You know what I mean? They do their thing, and that's it. And I know plenty of people, again, from Miami. All right, it's a lifestyle. Plenty of people that can barely afford rent, and yet they're driving around in a brand new Porsche. Again, that they cannot afford. That again, they're about to probably miss the payment on, and they're about to repo the Porsche. Okay. Among other things. So there's all kinds of lifestyles and everything in between, and yada, yada, yada. All right. So, and again, the wealthy people that want to live in the wealth and don't want anything to do with the poor, and the poor that want to live in wealth and don't want anything to do with the poor, and then the poor that want to be with the poor, and there's everything in between. Okay. So even me, if I were to have a lot of money, I would still live amongst the people. You know what I mean? I would be one of the people that probably would have a mega mansion or a mega property in the heart of everything, and just be with the people. And all that good stuff. So, yeah. Shout out to you. By the way, so Mr. Lodak out there, he knows me, from my Bitcoin days, all right? And this time around, I am sorry to say that I missed the boat because, I just had so much going on. And because I had so much going on, well, I just didn't get to put any money into Bitcoin. So this is the first time ever that I'm actually watching the action on the sidelines. I got nothing invested in that. So, shout out to you. Shout out to everyone out there. I think it's still early. I think there's still, gains to be made out there for anyone out there. We still got a lot of people about the FOMO in. We ain't seen nothing yet. But yeah, at least for me, not like other years past. That's another way I've been able to survive, throughout the years, with things like crypto, thinking outside the box. It's not just about, doing the traditional thing that everybody does. Again, you guys see my channel, you guys see my lifestyle, you guys see what I do, what I've done. Again, I got multiple channels, most of my life, in the last like 10 years is online, and you get to see all the things that I've done. I've had money, I've had no money, I've lost it all. I've been, I've been in a Texas prison, I've done all kinds of crazy shit, okay? And I've been able to survive, and I've been able to have an amazing adventure. And to me, we haven't even started yet. We got way more to this journey to add. Like I said, I went on an adventure yesterday, and I can't wait to edit that and show it to you. As for now, this Sunday, we'll have a real estate video, and a special real estate video that I think you guys are gonna love. Again, the same video that similar style of video that we just did, here, okay? This similar style of video, but at the homes, I think you're gonna like it. We got a little theme going with these homes, so I think you guys will like those. So anyways, we're gonna check that out on Sunday, and then next Sunday we got another adventure, and I got more videos like the ones that you love, biking around, walking around, and all that stuff coming up as well. All right, so we got a lot coming, and also we are, we got my other channel, Jose Unleashed. I'm about to go live over there. We're gonna be talking about drugs. All right. Last week I was talking about what did I do here? What happened? Hold on one second. Oh, what happened? I broke it. Anyways, okay. So last week I talked about how I quit smoking. We talk about, the boomers or doomers ruin society. The reality of living in the matrix. I talked to artificial intelligence. Talked to you about all kinds of things. Everything. Story time when I worked in the kitchens. Everything. And this time we're gonna be talking about drugs. That's right, just drugs. So hopefully you guys want to join me for that, and hopefully you can have some fun there. And if you do, I'm going to put the link in the chat. Again, if you like the content that you're watching on this channel, you guys enjoy everything that we talked about today, you guys want to help me out, besides liking and subscribing to this channel and liking this video and all that good stuff, please go check out my other channel, you know, and you might enjoy that too. You know, it'll be fun, you know, to talk about livations for a little bit, and hopefully I'll see you there. And we're gonna go live soon. Every single Thursday I go live here, and then I go live over there. So we're gonna take a little bit of a break, and then we're gonna go live over there, and you know, hopefully, you know, we'll have some fun over there. So yeah, please, if you guys have any questions, any comments, if you think I missed anything, if there's anything, you know, you want me to talk about or add that I didn't do before. Oh, I know something very important. So what is the projected growth of Merida? A lot of growth, a lot of growth. Okay, so I've been here for 6.5 years, and I've already seen the growth. And when they were building the Mayan train, for those of you guys who are not familiar with the Mayan train, it's a train system that's going to be going around the whole peninsula, you know, connecting Cancun, Tulum, Campeche, Merida, and then connecting all that to the rest of the country. Okay, but anyways, I digress. So when they were building at the initial stages of all that, the train station, okay, the train station was supposed to come into Merida, and they were going to have the train station at the Parque La Plancha, you know, this area. They turned this area into a park instead. All right, and I've done videos here. So they turned this area into a park. All right, but this was supposed to be the train station, because it was a train station a long time ago, but they turned it into a park. This is the art school where Christian's at and stuff like that. Okay, look at that. But anyways, beautiful, beautiful park. All right, so they were gonna do that originally, but that obviously didn't work out. Why didn't it work out? Well, because they knew, you know, as the years were going on, that the city and the region is growing so much. Again, if you just came out here like 10 years ago, there was nothing out in Cauquel, Cholul, Las Americas, you know, none of these areas, you know. But now look at all this growth outside of the city, and it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing. Again, you know, I remember when I first came out here, when I lived out here, and I would drive down these roads and I would drive on the beach. It was nothing out there. And now it's just stuff. Look, when you zoom in, you see it. You see there's stuff being built everywhere. All right, everywhere, all over the place. All right, you see? You really get to see it when you're out here. But anyways, again, I digress. So they're expecting the thing to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. So with that said, when they built the train station, they built it somewhere out here. All right. Why did they build it somewhere out here? I forgot where it is. All right. But anyways, they built it somewhere out here. Why did they build it out here? Because they know that the city and the area is going to expand out this way. They have future plans for a new airport. They're not going to be able to expand this airport much further. All right. So what are they doing? Oh, well, they've already started to plan out building another airport down south, somewhere out here. All right. So once they build that airport, once that airport is built, now it'll be like most cities where they have the airport down here, and then it's away from the actual center of the city, and then all this area will start down south will start getting developed. So again, they're going to build an airport somewhere down south here, and then eventually get rid of this airport, and then all this area is going to open up for investment, for building, for everything. And then eventually now, once that happens, then that's when the South is going to start getting revitalized and whatever. But this will be like 20 years from now. It's going to be a while from now. But long story short, you see, the further, when you kind of zoom out a little bit, you start seeing around the city, it's already getting developed. And it's just going to continue to get developed. So, you know, what do I see in the future? Insane amounts of development. Why? Because again, I am originally from Florida, and I saw it down there. I remember back in the 80s, you know, Florida was Florida. You know, it was just, geez, it was nothing, you know, like what Merida is right now. And now look at Miami. Look at the whole area. Look at Florida. You know, look at what everything's turned into. So think about same thing here. If we had a similar situation, just like in Florida. Remember, Florida, for the most part, let's just go to Florida for a second. Florida, for the most part, you know, was very underdeveloped. You know, just a little spots here, Miami, Boca, whatever, you know, a few spots, you know, little cities here, you know, Tampa, whatever, Fort Myers. All these places were like little tiny communities, you know, compared to what they are now. You know, now, look at that. They're just monstrosities. Monstrosities. Okay? Monstrosities. It's like, just to give you an example, you know, at one point, you know, right, the city, and when I was born, the city kind of like ended here. Well, hold on. They kind of like ended, you know, there's the airport, you see, but it ended like, you know, there. Like all the way here. Look how much of it it's expanded. And there's even more and more. And look at that. Look at that. And again, that's just not Miami. It's everywhere. Same as here. There's nothing out here. All right? Look at that. It's insane. So, and look at that. It's just the development up here in Mickey Mouse Land and so on and so forth. All right. So, with that said, that's what I'm expecting down here. Think about it. You know, there's nothing. Look at that. It's all green. Green. You see a couple little dots. Okay? Everywhere. You see, look, Cancun. You're hardly recognizable to what it was 20, 30 years ago. Okay? Same as Tulum. Same as Playa del Carmen. All right? And there's still way more development. Those areas are developing out that way. Sorry, out that way. So those areas are developing out that way. And Merida and these areas are developing out this way. So they're developing out, okay, in both directions. All right? And, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's just going to keep growing now, but it's not going to be tomorrow. It's going to be 10, 15, 20 years down the line, all right? And longer. But, I mean, the growth is just, you know, and again, you know, think about all the growth that they got to go down this way, to the beaches. You know, some of these areas, these are reserves. And that's another thing, too, you know, like, you got to be careful out there when you're buying properties and you're buying whatever. You might be buying an investment lot, you know, to build a property out here, and then all of a sudden you're buying it on a reserve. And you can't build on a reserve. You know, just like if all of a sudden someone sells you a piece of property in the Everglades, and then the federal government's like, what are you doing? What'd you buy? You gotta go. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's the same thing. You know, you buy out here, you know, in certain areas, you know, that are like a natural preserves, you know, for freaking flamingos or whatever, you know, and, you know, the federal government's gonna be like, what are you doing? Kick the fuck out of here. So anyway, shout out to everyone out there. Kathleen says, I would like to see you do a walk in the north of the city inside the Petty Fit. I've done that already. I don't know what videos, I forgot, but I've done that in the past. And when you see me walking in the north, it's like if I'm walking in any U.S. city, which is unwalkable. You know, again, I'm walking from the mall to the hospital to the this to that. And like when you get to see, here, it was in this region, in fact, where I was walking, right? Yeah, it was in this region where I was walking because I went to the hospital for something, for like some test, I don't know, and I was walking through here, and so just going into the Periférico, and I walked through all this, because I was just saying, it's like, you know, there are things on both sides of Periférico, you know, remember, it's not just like, you know, nothing out there per se, you know, there's hospitals, there's all kinds of things, all right? So anyways, long story short, and I walked through all this. See, I'm trying to walk through there, I can't walk through there, my bad. But I walked through all that. So here we're gonna go to the street view, and I walked through here, and I walked through there, and I walked through all this. But you see the big difference. It's like the USA. You see? And so when you're walking, you know, like I've shown you guys, you know what I mean? You're walking, it's like you're walking in the USA. It's like walk and walk and walk and walk, and it's just like, you feel me? And obviously there's people that walk. Obviously there's people that have no other choice. But like, yeah, and by the way, the streets are desolate because I'm guessing this is an older video or early in the morning. Who knows when this was taken? There's a lot more traffic and people through here. But anyways, long story short, yeah. You know, look at that. This is just one tiny little area. And look at that. Look how big and expansive, just like in the USA. You got Fridays, you got the malls, you got everything. Same as back home. Okay? And then, you know, when we're in El Centro, it's very different. Okay, you're in El Centro, it's very different, you see? So, you get an idea, all right? See how different the city is. All right? And it's only like a 20-minute drive to go to the north. So 20 minutes away, and look how different the cities are. Okay? The city is. Different regions. The streets are narrower. You know, it's more walkable. You know, everything. All the stores are one next to each other. You know, and all that stuff, as opposed to over there in the north. It's very, you know, like the USA. Make sense? So, anyways, and there's regions that are like the north and you know, in the east and the west. Okay, obviously the more north you go, you know, northeast, northwest, you know, you'll see more of that, and you'll see less of that or non-existent in the south and in these regions. All right, you know, I'll just pick a random spot down here and you'll see. You see? It's a random neighborhood, and in this random neighborhood, you see, look right there, they sell food, they sell something. It's like a little tiendita. There's look more stuff there. You see? It's like right there. I just picked a random spot, okay, in the neighborhood there, okay, and random everything. You know, there might be selling ice cream or selling, you know, little things, selling whatever. There might be schools or daycares or whatever. Everything's all within the neighborhood. But go to a random spot in the north. You can see it's a little different. You see? Look at the homes are a little different. You see? And you're not gonna see, you know, people having, you see, like this is nicer. We're a little more manicured. You're not gonna be seeing, you know, people out here, or very rarely you're gonna see them, you know, there's a little school there, but that's an actual school. But you're not gonna see any, you know, I haven't seen a little store. I haven't seen a little, but again, you'll see properties like this. You know, think about it. You can buy this property. It's gonna cost you a pretty penny, but you can buy that property again for a lot cheaper than you can buy this one. But you see, those empty lots, there's still space, there's still plenty of everything up there. But anyways, but you see, very different neighborhoods, and I don't see any vendors, you know, I don't see any little, you know, stores, I don't see anything like that, like how we saw there. But you see, the homes are nice, okay? You see, the construction is nice. Things are different, okay? What's that? That's like a little clinica, a little medical doctor, which I don't know if that's still, is it? Seems like it's like a doctor or something. Who knows? Whatever. Anyways. All right. You can see. I have not one little corner store. And I got corner stores all over the place in my neighborhood. I haven't seen one yet. But the homes in my neighborhood don't look like this. They're very nice. These are very nice. Okay? So I hope that makes more sense, okay? As to what the regions look like, okay? And what things look like. And again, that's why I show my videos. And my videos, you know, most of my videos are shot in the orange, in the green, in the orange, in the green, and then the purple. Very rarely do I go to the north. Okay? Because the north is just like the USA. You know what I mean? Meaning that I'm in traffic and I'm dealing with, you already saw, you didn't see what it looks like. I got nothing to go do up there. You know, I go up there when I have to go up there, you know, when I don't really have a choice, all right? I don't want to. But again, most of the videos that I shoot are usually in the, again, east, west, south, all right? And now you get to see, you know, what things look like in those areas. So hopefully that makes sense. Orange Julius all day. That's right. Anyways, I was reading some comments here. All right. Shout out to everyone. All right. So, shout out to Crypto Johnny. Shout out to you with the membership. All right. Wow. Look at that. New member. So, by the way, shout out to all the members out there. Shout out to all the patrons out there. You know, shout out to everyone out there that helps support the show. I'm glad that I'm able to give you value, and that you guys, you know, find so much value into what I give you that you guys want to reciprocate that, and I appreciate that. So shout out to Crypto Johnny for being a member. That's right. And shout out, there you go. Look at that. Yeah, you got it. There you go. You got your little, you know. By the way, see, look, you can, by the way, for anyone out there that's a member, you know, you have special emojis that you can use like this. All right, I don't think a lot of you guys know. I'm the only one that uses the emojis here. Look at these emojis I have. Okay, you guys can use those as well. All right, for anyone that's a member. Anyways, shout out to Crypto Johnny, the newest member of the group. All right, welcome aboard. Much appreciated. So, you know, with all that being said, guys, I gotta get going because we're gonna go live on my other show. All right, we're gonna be going live on Jose Unleashed real soon. All right, I say no to drugs, but they don't listen. So we're gonna be talking about that. Like I said last week, we talked about how I quit smoking, and we talked about all kinds of really awesome, fun things. Like I said, I was even talking to AI. Talked about, you know, being a chef, you name it. All right, even how to prepare for the oncoming, well, actually, these elections were actually pretty ho-hum, compared to what we were expecting. But anyways, long story short, come join me. I'm gonna go live in about 30 minutes, and hope to see you there. But with all that being said, let's see. Mason says, "Hola, Jose. Wondering if that program is still looking good for 2025." We don't know yet. I just talked to Jose Novella about the RNE program, and I am waiting. We're waiting on official final word, which should be heading our way real soon. The minute, we were talking about him coming on the show live again soon, but I told him, let's wait until you get the word, and once you get the word, boom, we can let everybody know. So hopefully nobody beats me to the punch, but if they do, who cares? It's all for the benefit of you in the audience, all right? I just want to make sure you guys get that information, but it's looking good. We're just waiting. We're just now waiting and waiting. This is like that, that you know what I'm saying, like you're grinding your teeth waiting for the results there. But yeah, as soon as we get the final word on that, the RNE program for residency is renewed, we will let you know immediately. Okay, so all right, with all that being said, guys, we're gonna head out of here. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you again for everything. Thanks again for all my members out there. Thanks again to all the patrons out there. Thanks again for all of you guys that help the show out. However you help out the show, whether you're simply leaving a like on this show, subscribing to my other channel, leaving a like over there as well. You're sharing this content. You're sharing it with a friend, with an enemy, with a frenemy, whatever it is you're doing. Thank you so much. Hey, there might be someone out there in your life that you hate and you want to get rid of, and you share my videos with them so that they can get encouraged to leave. I don't know, whatever. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, we all thank you. All right, Lambo thanks you. We all thank you. We love you. And special shout out to Mr. Lodak. Haven't seen you in a while. Glad you're doing okay. Hope to see you on Unleash, and hope you don't become a stranger. I know you've been busy out there too. Hope you hang out with us a little more, especially on the other channel. So anyways, thanks again for watching. Thanks again for hanging out. Love you guys. Peace out, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Remember, no show next week. Next week is Thanksgiving, so I'm gonna be crying my sorrows away watching my Dolphins get embarrassed by Green Bay over some turkey. Hopefully we win, which will be just as bad, but that's another story for another day. All right, guys, love you guys. Peace out, and I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. All right, bye. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Happy